Good evening and welcome everyone. Thank you for coming out this evening. My name is Janine Davies and I am the chair of the Tri-City Chamber of Commerce. And we're thrilled to have you here this evening. This is actually the first time that the Chamber has done this sort of event specifically for the school board. So we ask a little for your indulgence. We're using a new technology called Pigeonhole. And my colleague is going to share with you and moderate the event, and he'll explain to you the rules. The importance of the school district debate this particular year is important for us because we believe that education system, the way that is structured with the school district, is actually a business. I'm not sure how many of you are aware, but the operating budget of the school district is roughly about $128 million on a given year. I'm not done. The capital budget, I knew they're all going to jump up. The capital budget is probably another 100 to 150 million. So altogether, it could be anywhere from 230 to 280, depending on the capital approval. Is that right? No. Operating is 280. Okay, so this is a big budget. There are 4,000 employees roughly in the Tri-City School District 43. Just to give context, I believe the city of Coquitlam has 400 employees and an operating budget of about 90 million. So this $250 million budget is a significant one, and we think it's important that you have an opportunity to actually discuss that. So I'm going to hand it over to Brian Hyman. He is our second vice chair, and he's going to be the moderator this evening, so he's actually going to be sitting over there. So if you have questions, Paige and myself will be running around picking up the questions. We're going to ask that the questions are to all candidates, not to individual candidates. Okay? Thank you, and then enjoy.
All right, good evening, everyone. We started a little bit early, which hopefully will end a little bit early, and we'll have time for personal discussion out in the lobby. And by way of introduction, what I want to do is give a little bit of context to what we're trying to accomplish here. So I'm going to start with an introduction provided by the BC School Trustees Association. British Columbia is a large province with many communities, each having different priorities, needs, and unique educational requirements. British Columbians elect their boards of education to improve student achievement according to the diverse needs of these communities. As locally elected representatives, the trustees on these boards best understand their respective communities' particular strengths, challenges, and demands. Trustees engage their communities in building and maintaining a school system that reflects local priorities, values, and expectations. School trustees listen to their communities, guide the work of their school district, and set plans, policies, and the annual budget. Reflecting the strength of local representation, boards report back to their communities on how students are doing. Boards are directly accountable to the people they serve. So I want to focus on that accountability piece. That's why we're here today. That's why we're putting this on. So what we've got is two levels of accountability. We've got the chamber questions, which we'll be presenting, as well as you can see up there, we'll be using a technology called Pigeonhole Live, I should say. So what you can do is use your smartphone, tablet, or anything else you may have with you to log into www.pigeonhole.at and use the passcode chamber as you see up there on the screen, and you can enter your questions and or vote for other questions that have already been entered, and those may be posed to the candidates, and you'll see them coming up on the screen when we move into that stage. Yeah, Darren, you want to switch into that stage? As Janine said, I'm Brian Hyman. I'm going to be moderating tonight's debate or discussion, if you will. I'm director of the Trustees Chamber of Commerce and chair of the Public Policy Committee. Today's debate and our discussion is webcast live at www.tricitieschamber.com. And with that, if you don't have access to the internet, one more thing, there is still a level of accountability that you can provide, and that is you can raise your hand and one of our volunteers will come around and grab any piece of paper that you may have and you've written a question on. So we'll quickly go over the format for tonight's meeting. Each candidate will have 60 seconds to introduce themselves and their platform. Candidates are organized based on electoral district and alphabetically. Next, we'll alternate between questions from the chamber and questions from the public via the Pigeonhole Live that we just discussed. Candidates will have a maximum of 45 seconds to respond. Candidates, are you ready? Okay. So first we'll hear from our 4 Coquitlam candidates. Voters will elect 4 of the next candidates. We'll hear from our Coquitlam candidates, big part. Voters will elect 4 of the next candidates. Gail Alty, if you'll start us off, please.
Good evening. Why should you vote for me, Gail Alty, for Coquitlam trustee? I have supported student success in Coquitlam School District for 31 years as a strong parent volunteer leader, a school secretary, education assistant, Orton Gillingham tutor, and your trustee. I have never been tied to partisan politics in all that time, and I can make difficult decisions that are not popular. I left Coquitlam because my husband Dave has a business in Victoria. I pay my own way to commute and am here for every meeting our board has, even if that means 7 days a week. My commitment is second to none. Coquitlam is still very much my community. My children and families are here, my good friends are here, and I support local businesses and events. I do this because I care and want to continue advocating for our students in our school district. We have an excellent district to build upon. Please vote for Gail Alty for Coquitlam School Trustee. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Gail. Rob Bottas, if you'd like to step up next.
All right, good evening. My name is Rob Bottas. I'm a longtime Coquitlam resident. I've lived here since 1978. I work in the Tri-Cities as the life skills worker with Development Challenge Adults, and I've been active in the scouting community for over 20 years as both a leader and a volunteer. One of the reasons I'm running is I think we have a lack of leadership on our board. The last 2 years, we've seen cuts to services to children as well as layoffs to both workers and teachers, while the board has given us those pay raises. I think it shows a lack of leadership and a lack of respect for both the people in the system to build the morale, and I believe in leading by example. I'm a BCGE member, I'm in the community, I care. On November 15th, vote for someone who will lead by example, vote for Rob Bottas. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rob.
My name is Carol Cahoon, and I've lived in the district for over 18 years. Both my children are currently in School District 43. My son's in grade 7, and my daughter's in grade 9. And I have been volunteering with the parent advisory committees, school planning committees, district parent advisory council, and elected chairperson of the Montessori Society for 2 terms. I'm running for school trustee because I want to bring greater fiscal accountability and a reduction to the current deficit. I'm looking forward to connecting with teachers, principals, support staff, other students in the system, and connecting with the community so that they can give me their ideas and concerns that I can bring to the board. Please support me on November 15th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carol. Next, Chuck Dennison.
Thank you, Brian. How am I doing? Oh, there we are. That's a little better. Chuck Dennison, Coquitlam School Trustee candidate. I've been around doing a few things, and most recently I'm the president of the district PAC. But I have a background in teaching. So I know what it's like to be a teacher in front of a classroom. But I didn't stay in teaching. I found that I could make more money elsewhere. So I entered the corporate world as a project manager, and now I'm a business owner. But I still have a deep passion for education. I have a daughter now in grade 8, so I see the product of education coming home to us every day. Education has evolved, it's become more complex. We're having changes to the curriculum, changes to evaluation, and the skills that kids need when they graduate are completely different than how they were when I went through the system. And I see that in the kind of assignments that they have. Vote for Chuck Dennison on November 15th.
Next will be Barb Hobson.
Hello, my name is Barb Hobson. I moved my family to Coquitlam in 1979 because of the school system and the excellent reputation of school to District 43, which it continues to maintain. Recently, however, I watched as our school district reported an ever-increasing deficit. Here's what I believe we need: an effective and transparent finance committee that reports out to the full board at every board meeting, a whistleblower policy so staff have a safe mechanism to alert someone if they believe a harmful act has been committed, additional lobbying of the provincial government to deal with our funding challenges, I was a school trustee from 1996 until 2002, spent 3 years as board chair and 2 years as chair of the Audit and Finance Committee, and I continue to serve on the Student Services Advisory Committee for the district. My name is Barb Hobson, and I'm asking for your support on November 15th. Thank you.
Thank you, Barb. Next is Zhang Luo.
Hello, my name is Zhong Su Luo, and I'm running a school candidate for school trustee. I have been living in Coquitlam with 2 of my children for the last 17 years. And one of my children already graduated from grade 12 last summer, and one is in grade 10 now. The reason I'm here is I see the school budget deficit. We all had heard that last year that we have an $8 million deficit, and then we see the second year is $12 million deficit, and this year, $14 million. So what's going to happen for the next year? And that's what I want to do, something that no family can run on the deficit, and then no business can run in that way, and definitely it's not in our education system. So if I get elected, I'll work with people and fix the problem.
Thank you, Zhang. Next is Sherry O'Neill.
Hello, and thank you for taking the time to come out tonight. I'm Sherry O'Neill, and I have lived in Coquitlam for 16 years. I'm married and have 2 children, ages 7 and 11. I have the time to commit to being an involved and effective trustee. I'm in touch and connected with the parent community. I started attending school board meetings in early 2012, and I attended every school board meeting in 2013-14. The $13.4 million deficit is a huge concern to me, as I'm sure it is to you. The deficit has led to major cuts to support workers, but no cuts to management. The cuts to support workers affect all of our children. This is unacceptable. For more information, go to sherryo'neill.ca.
Thank you, Sherry. Next is Larry Ryan.
Hello, my name is Larry Ryan. I'm running for school board trustee in Coquitlam. With just a minute here, I'm not going to stand up here and try and sell you on my accolades or my community service. You can check that out on my website, Larry Ryan for coquitlamtrustee.com. I want to tell you a little bit about what sets me apart from the other candidates. You know, most of the people are going to talk about accountability and talk about how we can have advocacy and be financially responsible. And those are all very important things. However, what sets me apart is that I'm actually a teacher. I have nearly 20 years of experience teaching, and so I can come with the experience and the knowledge of that background. So I'm not just a person who is maybe in small business or things like that. I come with the education business. I have a master's degree in education, and the last time we had somebody elected to a position that didn't know what they're doing in education was 2001.
Thank you,
Minister of Education, Christy Clark.
Yep. Next is Diane Seiden.
Good evening. My name's Diane Sowden, and I'm running for school trustee. Why do I want to be a trustee? It's because I know your community and I know the school district. I have lived in Coquitlam for over 30 years and in Port Moody for over 7. I owned a business here that ran for 25 years and employed many students in this district. Since
Diane, if you
1995,
could talk into the mic for us. Sorry.
Since 1995, I've been the executive director of a nonprofit that I founded, Children's Street Society, which provides services to youth and families in our district. Due to my role, I've spent thousands of hours in the classrooms over the last 19 years. I have 1 child attending school presently and 7 who have received their public education in School District 43. I've always been a voice for an educational system that meets the needs of all learners, which I will continue to follow through with that as a passion and support the learning beyond boundaries.
Okay, thank you, Diane.
Vote for Diane Sowden.
Next is Jerry Wallace.
Hello, my name is Jerry Wallace, and I'm seeking your support for re-election. I've been involved as a volunteer in many community activities throughout the 37 years my husband and I have lived in Coquitlam. I have a reputation for listening and welcoming community input, both in education, and I'm passionate about students having the opportunities to learn and succeed. I believe parents, teachers, schools, and community play a very important role in making this happen. My priorities for the next 4 years are the best use and fairest allocation of taxpayers' dollars towards the classroom, equipping students with skills to succeed in a changing world, and reducing costs by sharing new school, community buildings, parks, and fields. I have and will continue to advocate for a new and more equitable allocation of funds from the province. I would be honored to serve another 4 years as your school trustee. Please vote for Jerry Wallace. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. Next is Jody Wiggins.
My name is Jody Wickens. I live in Coquitlam with my husband and 2 wonderful children. 4 years ago, my son entered the public education system. I quickly began to see how many of our students are being underserved by our system. I decided to run for school board trustee because I felt disappointed with the bureaucracy in our district and the disconnect that I felt from our current board and the communities that they were elected to serve. School District 43 needs renewal and change. We need trustees that have the energy, passion, and determination to stand up for public education. We need trustees that are connected to their communities, listening to them, learning about the issues, and acting to hold management accountable. I'm excited to be a part of the change that our district desperately needs and our students deserve. On November 15th, vote for change. And elect me, Jody Wickens.
Thank you, Jody.